licked not even one drink of alcohol for 17 years. I did it the right way too, you know. Went to AA and stuff, and I worked the steps, and I had one sponsor the whole time, and I did it the right way, and I know how to do it. Which is why I sit here going, what's going on? You know, how to get sober, have 3 college degrees, you know,
What you go
wasted.
to school for?
Well, back in New York, I went got my liberal arts and humanities degree at Westchester Community College. Then I got a psychology degree at Mercy College. And this is why I was working 2 jobs the whole time, just after rehab from cocaine, and working my butt off. And then I went to nursing school after that, because I worked in a psych hospital for 5 years in New York. And it's kind of crazy, but yeah, no, I've seen everything there is to see on those lines, you know, and I have a good grasp on my own sanity. But you know, and there's stuff out here that can drive you crazy if you're not.
Well,
So
my YouTube is called What is Your Story?
yeah,
It's like What is Your Story, but my last name is Juarez. Um, my name is Adrian. What is your name, brother?
I'm Chad.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, man. It's actually Michael Chad, but I just go by Chad.
And where are you from, Chad?
Originally Denver, Colorado, but I lived in New York for 17 years, so I'm kind of part New Yorker in a way. But I was
Got you.
born and raised right down the road from here, in Bellevue, Yosemite.
Did you have a mom and dad growing up?
I did.
And how was your childhood?
You know, it was really good. I'd say, you know, compared to a lot, we always, you know, had what we needed. We weren't living a lavish lifestyle, but you know, when 12 years old on, if I wanted something, I had to have a job and earn it. My dad was very, he's a strict guy, and we were never neglected, like being taken care of, but it was a household of a lot of violence, you know, and that sucked growing up as a kid. You know? But I would say, other than the violence, and that's a big thing to say because that can ruin your life in a way, but you know, it was good. My parents tried the best they could, and I know that, and they loved me and were always there for me. But you know, a lot of times the way they answered it was with the wrong way, violence. They're, my whole family alcoholics, always drinkers. I couldn't recall ever seeing my parents without a drink in their hand at night, but they're functioning alcoholics, and you know, um, yeah, I had the wrong impression of a lot of stuff. I think probably from my parents and the people of their friends and so on growing up, big kegger parties and so on, and I was kind of more leaning towards the party way of life. And you know, I did really well in school and stuff, and got great grades. Smart guy, but a little hyper and all that. And you know, I like the party lifestyle and all that. And they say, you know, don't smoke weed and go to school and listen to your teacher. Man, looking back at it, it's like I really wish I would have listened more to that. You know, I went to class and all, was educated, but I just always veered towards having a beer or going to smoke some weed or something and staying off course. You know, just enough. Um, it's a good childhood, but you know, could have been. I think I would take maybe being neglected a bit rather than being hit. So I got the brunt of it. I ended up people pleaser because my mom and sister. You know, I learned everything was cool with them and my dad, and everyone was happy. It didn't matter what was wrong with me, so as long as everyone was happy. And became a people pleaser, and you know, violence and being a people pleaser—that's a bad combo for somebody. Um, I'd like to say that you know I've never followed in my dad's footsteps with that, but you know, it's still remembered all the time. You know, it's not anything I'd ever want to be hear said about me if I was a dad. You know, my kids didn't hit me and so on. But so that was about the childhood, I think. I don't know, a lot of violence, a lot of drama, and it's kind of. I grew up in a neighborhood where I grew up with mostly Greek kids and Jewish kids, and like you know, the Greek kids. I love the Greek kids. Their families always celebrating their holidays. They go have ouzo candy at their house, and at a young age, I think back, I was having beers at kegerator in my garage and ouzo candy at friend's house, 12 years old, and you know, started smoking weed and all that, and just kind of went downhill. But did good at sports always. I was athletic and all that, and steered off course. You know, my senior year in high school, got involved with a lot of things here in Colorado. They had busing back in the day, so I grew up out here in Southeast Denver, corner of Southeast Denver, and they'd bus up, you know, all the way down to Swansea at Cole Middle School, you know, and then high school, they brought all of them all up here to TJ, and you know, a big busing thing, and so I made friends with a lot of guys and gang members down there at Cole. I'm a scared little white boy, new world to me. I knew how to make friends with to be safe. Made friends with them, and I stayed friends with those guys all through high school. They were good. Always, my mom loved them all. Respectful guys. We got in a lot of trouble my senior year in high school. Um, Something I had to do with uh, I used to babysit for this guy and learned that this guy's babysitting for was a big drug dealer and all the stuff that goes with it. And ended up being I ended up telling my buddies about it, and a gun came into play, and someone lost their life when I was 17 years old. I was looking at many years as an adult, some real shit, and to this day, I've learned what my part in it really was. I blame myself a lot more for being a big mouth and just telling people things I shouldn't have said, but you know, I learned my role and what it was, and I've come to accept that and come to terms with it. But it still affected the lives of many people. And my friend accidentally shot my other friend's little brother, and the gun they had, the bullet was wet, the gunpowder was wet, and accidental discharge. And to this day, God rest his soul, and it haunts me to the day, and but it's some real stuff. And kids nowadays, like you see, they don't fight anymore. They just pull guns out and stuff. And it's tough and badass, all that. Man, you shoot someone, there goes the rest of your life, man. When you're sitting in a detective's office with your mom, looking at photographs you never wanted to see, it becomes a reality that how precious your life is and stuff. And I kind of righted my ship for quite some time after that. Went to school and so on, got myself back on track, and started getting high and dabbling with like cocaine, and just went deep off course. Dropped out of school, didn't do well, just failed out in life, and come to an end. Was smoking crack and coke every day for 3 years, and finally asked for some help and got help, and I was sober for 17 years. Did the shit the right way, and I remember sitting in New York. This one businessman came in, and I was like in a meeting, AA meeting, and that it does work. I will say, you just got to keep your limits. And I'll tell you, man, I remember this businessman came in. It was in the same town that the Clintons lived in, and he comes in this meeting, sits down next to me, and says, I've done this before, and I was only dry. I didn't get sober. He said, so this time I'm either get sober, I'm gonna go home, I'm gonna blow my fucking head off if I can't do it. And this dude was so real. It just brought chills to me. And I remember him saying, they weren't lying about it. Their disease gets bigger and badder. It's doing push-ups waiting for you while you're in there getting sober. And I found that out the hard way, man. Came back to Colorado, started fucking around, and
What made you come back over here?
well, I was married, I had a good girl, and we were gonna move out here to have kids.
Okay.
My family was still out here, and we moved out here to have kids, and then found out my wife couldn't have kids, and she knew it prior to that, and it ended up being kind of the end of our marriage. Not because she couldn't, but because she wasn't upfront with me about it. I would have loved her regardless. She just tell someone that's a big thing. We moved here for that.
Yeah.
Forgot a little detail there, but that was just I started losing things and people. My wife, my best friend from New York, 17 years, got cancer and passed away. My other best friend,
Condolences.
passed away. She had breast cancer, and I started using that as an excuse to go get high. Because
Yeah.
I know in my eyes, if Andre everyone heard me saying, "Oh, I'm getting high because my best friend died," he would have just, "Don't you use my name? Don't you dare use my name in that? Why you're doing that?" And I ended up just steering off course, losing myself, and that's why I started getting high. Like I said before, I quit asking God for help every day. I'm not a religious guy, but I saw the difference in my life when I wasn't being humble, the act of humility, getting on my knees and asking God for help. And I saw the change in my life, and it just went downhill quickly. I remember thinking that. Two things I thought is I'm going to regret that. Not praying and not having a shower. So, and, you know, fast forward to many years of addiction, I started getting high on meth and, progressed quickly to, banging it and I shoot it. And for a while, I was really out of control. I had the nice house in Parker. I had was it about $599,000 house, 4-bedroom house in Parker,
Yeah.
basement, growing weed in the basement, and all that. And Joe Cool. I was doing, I always had a good job. I was doing commercial real estate, and my life started hanging out with the wrong people, and started doing meth and shooting it, and I lost myself really quickly. I lost everything I had. Like they say, man, I fell from grace fast. My mom told me that. I've never seen someone fall from grace so quickly. I had the big house, 2 cars, all that. The life. I had like 3 girlfriends at all times. It was great. Well, I thought it was great, and I lost it pretty quickly, man. I worked my whole life for all that, and ended up losing my house, my car, my truck, my job, and ended up out here being homeless. And it's still at that time, still doing my mess. Just couldn't slow down. Wasn't ready. And fast forward, I've been homeless now 4.5 years. And number one, I never think I'd make it that long. I look and sound a certain way, but I've grown to be a pretty tough ass motherfucker, and you got to be. And just recently, I mean, it came to my light that, and I'm done. I'm done out here. I've seen people killed. I've seen friends die. Girlfriend burned to death almost in a fire. Lost her legs in a fire. All drug related or street related. And about 3 months ago, for no reason other than I'm homeless, I had a couple. I stay across the street, and I was staying in this what used to be an old freezer. And the dispensary, they knew I was there, but I kept it clean. Didn't have people over. Do it the right way, and they let me be there. I was there for 7 months, and one night, this guy just decides that he don't like homeless people, and he was gonna kill us. So he barricaded the door and threw gas on it, lit the place on fire with 3 of us inside. And me and 2 girls, and he's saying he's gonna shoot me if I open the door. And finally, I broke the door open. Fast forward, and she felt the heat right away, and the girls are panicking. Broke the door open, got us out. It's about 15 more seconds, and we'd have been dead. And it was real. And you can go over and see that it's still there, the behind the dispensary. And I look at it all the time. And I probably should get away from looking at it, but I mean, he tried to kill me and those girls, and no reason. And sooner or later, it's like blackjack, man. You keep playing, you play the odds and numbers. Sooner or later, it's gonna happen to you. And we got lucky as fuck that day. And they had it all on film, video, whatever. The police were looking for me too to talk to me. They knew what they were looking for and all that. And like I went in and talked to a detective about it. No shame, because I keep telling myself, that motherfucker tried to kill you and those girls, man. And he said to me, and said, what's wrong with you, man? You're out here still running around doing all that. You should be scared shitless. You shouldn't be out there. You should be scared, and you're not. He said that concerns me, man. And I've grown that numb to things that he's right. I should be out of here. The guy was supposedly he's a gang member and so on. And it sucks, and I'm not phased by it, and that's how this lifestyle has numbed me out and changed me. And I always say, don't let it change you, man. Don't let it change you. I don't care who you are. It's going to change you some bit every time something happens. And I see that now. And I'm at that fork in the road. It's either I decide to put down the fucking needle and get off the streets, get some help, and get sober again, and save the rest of my life, or I'm gonna end up dead, man.
Are you sober now?
Right at this moment, yeah, I smoked weed this morning, but I haven't been doing.
I don't count that as
Yeah,
drugs,
no,
buddy.
that's
That's a
yeah,
medication right there.
exactly. Keeps me sane.
But any hard drugs? Have you? When's the last time you done hard drugs?
Last night,
Last night.
yeah,
Do you want
um,
to get away from them?
yeah, I'm sick of them, man. It breaks my heart. Just a waste of potential I've let become myself because of drugs,
Yeah.
and that's the only reason why. And not working in drugs, being a drug addict. I hate them, but there's part of me that always holds on to that. I don't. I like getting high, and I do, and I just got to wipe that out, man. I think I'm just scared right now about making change and going and getting sober, living, and getting the fuck away from it and doing what I know is right, treating myself right, not just the streets and the drugs, but the people, man. I mean, you meet some crazy cats out here, good people, but they're just acquaintances. They're not my friends, and I got to
Yeah.
remember that. And they're good folks, some good people that are facing things like I am, and just make bad decisions. I've stayed away from the blues and fentanyl, thank God. I've avoided that, and that makes you an outcast nowadays. But I see some people really struggling that I don't think are going to make it out here. And I've had friends, girls that I see one day, and nobody knows what's happened to him ever since. It's just sad stuff. I just don't want that to be me, and it will be me eventually. And I don't want to have a funeral with nobody at it. To me, that's a waste of human life. I want to be celebrated. I want to be back to that guy that people liked and loved, and not that guy people avoided. And I don't rob people, rip them off. I fly a sign and scrap, do legit stuff. But I tell you, I'm not the guy. I'm shadow the guy I used to be, and I still got a little hope and time left. And 51 now, and it's like, man, time goes quick. And
Since you're 51 now, where do you see yourself at 53?
I see myself sober and hopefully getting back into some sort of good job that I can make, at least save up a little something at. I've always worked for myself, um, but just having a life again and maybe finding a normal girlfriend. And I don't know, I got time, lots of therapy to go, but we're all out here. We're all single for a reason, I say.
Yeah.
And I'm going to find a good, sane girlfriend. I better be sane and sober myself. Because you reap what you sow, and out here, I've yet to come across the same woman. I'm sure they say the same thing. So I've come across some that put the fear of Jesus in my heart like that. Boom, blink of an eye, like. And we all have our issues. Like I say, some are worse than others. And you see a grown man run and cry. You see it quite often out here when there's a woman behind it. So
Any brothers and sisters out there?
not out here. I got a sister, and she lives up in Castle Pines in a gated community. And my sister, her whole life had to try really hard. She had couple learning disabilities, and she tried 10 times harder than I did. And I give her credit. Everything she's earned and what she's got. She's got two wonderful daughters who are about to finish college, who she eliminated me out of their life when they were about 13 because she didn't want them picking up on any of my bullshit. I wish you could hear me say this. Like, I freaking applaud her for that. She saw something and she did what she had to do to protect herself and her family. And she ended up with these great, my nieces are awesome girls. And I applaud her for that. And she deserves every little penny and richy thing she's got up in that gay community because she worked hard and she busted her ass and earned it. And I give her kudos on that. Big time props. I wish I could tell her that to her face, but I'm sure she knows it anyways.
Well, if she sees this YouTube video, if you have anybody out there, what would you like to tell them?
Well, I lost my dad, my dog and my dad 2 years ago. It still breaks my heart. And, being homeless just it's taken away so much from me and my drug addiction that it's robbed me of my family and life. And one day I hope to be back in my family's graces. They said some real shit to me, and when my dad died, and I've struggled with, do I even want to reunite with my family? And I do. I don't want my mom to pass away and me not be there. And maybe one day just at least have my family at my funeral.
Yeah.
But I wish I could turn the hands of time back. People say I'd never change anything, and I would. I'd make it sure that I'd never let my alienated myself from my family by getting high like I do. Because at a certain point in time, people say we can't be around it anymore, man, affecting us, and they walk away. And I'd turn time back to that point and just not let that happen, man. Because it's pretty lonely. Like when if I go to jail, I ain't got nobody to call. If I get killed, they have no one to call. And I think what gave me hope is that this last little thing a few weeks ago I was telling people, I think, man, miss my mom, man. I think I saw her like 3 times today, and I thought I saw my Uncle Scott a few times. And I love him very much, but I must be missing him. Something's wrong with my head. And, I talked to that detective about the fire, and he said, I've been looking for you for about 3 weeks now. And I figured he went to the address on my ID, which was my mom's address, to try to find me. And I can't imagine like the just the fear, unknowing that was put into her heart when he went there and knocked on her door. She probably thought she was getting the call, and pretty much I think my mom and my uncle came. He always knows the area I'm kind of at, and came down to see with their own eyes if I was still alive and out here, and they saw it. And I wasn't imagining. Um, I wish they would have stopped and said hi or something, but I did see them, and that sparked up the hope again of I'd love to get my family back and be normal again. Be helping my mom, in her yard every summer. She put me to work. But I love that. One day I'll have it back, and I don't see myself out here anymore because it's like that guy in that meeting said, I'm either get this right or I'm gonna blow my fucking head off. And if I don't blow my head off, somebody else will for me. And I mean, out here, it'll happen.
Yeah,
So I just tell everyone, man, you got that chance not to get high and stuff. I mean, I'd like to say, go to stay in school and all that. If you look at me. I'm saying, that billboard we used to laugh at down up Alameda on the highway said meth, not even once. We laugh at that. You know what? That's no joke. I tell people, man, avoid it. It's not cool. You don't gotta get high to fit in. Whatever your age is, all that, the blues, Fetty, it'll make your life a living hell. I mean, I've saved two people from dying, all that. You don't want this life. I don't wish it upon anybody. And it's not cool, and the cool kids aren't out here. And I just say, stay away from the drugs, man. And if you do are getting into them, talk to somebody about it and get out of it. And don't ever get to the point that you choose shit over your own family. Um, there's nothing winning in it for you. So, but yeah, just stay away from the drugs, guys. If you want to do something, smoke weed. It offers more to you than anything else out there, and it's not going to kill you or hurt you or do all that. And leave it at that. Get a good support system. But either that or you end up dead, or like me. You know?
I appreciate you, brother, for taking your time out today and sharing your life story and
Thank
what
you.
you're going through currently. And if nobody out there tells you they love you, just know I love you, brother. And
Appreciate
I
that.
appreciate you for even giving your words because a lot of people don't have heart to tell their story, and you had the heart to tell your story.
It's tough. I tell you, that detective gave me a real offer. He
Yeah,
said, if you want to get off these streets, I could, I can do things most people can't. I can get you somewhere that you're gonna be happy with. He said, you let me know if you want to get off the streets and get clean, and I can get you there. But don't bullshit me. Make sure you're ready. And I'm taking him up on that offer this week.
and if anybody because I got a YouTube and I have subscribers on there and stuff like that that like to help me out to help people out as well. Where could they find you or anything like that? If they want to come bring you anything, goodie bags or
Yeah.
anything like that.
Well, I currently stay right over the Dollar Tree out by Hannah in Yosemite. I'm
Okay.
always here at Walmart during the day, and this general area. Right now, I'm kind of up in the air with where I'm putting my camp and tent because the past fire and so on. But just in the general area of Dollar Tree, if you ask someone if I'm around, they'll be able to tell you. Kind of like a fixture out here with older
But they
guys.
know you by out here.
By Chad.
By Chad?
Yeah,
Okay.
I'm one of the few that don't have a street name, or
Got you.
I
Yeah,
usually
I
don't
got
do
you. Yeah,
those.
because a lot of people have street names. That's the only reason I asked,
Yeah, yeah. And yeah, just by Chad. There's about 18 mics, so that's why I go by Chad. No,
Thank you, brother.
yeah, definitely, and I appreciate that.
If I
Just
see you again or anything, just know I keep helping you and I keep blessing you
right on,
because
man.
I've been blessed in my life to bless other people. I appreciate you, brother.
I appreciate it,
Thank you.
man. And seeing you gives me hope, man. It
Yes.
does. Reminds me I can do it too.
Thank you.
Right on.